3 against 1. Get boss up, bub.
Get out. Fuck out of here. You know I'm a soldier. Just check the intake records at the MCC.
Now, one of the main questions I had after the first episode of Power Book 2 Ghost Season 2 was, where is 2-Bit? Now, I was sure at some point we would see 2-Bit rocking up to Tariq's room and collecting, because this is a storyline that they haven't revisited yet. I really thought they would tie up this old storyline in the first episode, and then for those who remember, I mentioned a few options for his character, which I went through. Either he stays on Power Book 2 Ghost and carries on finessing Tariq for more money, or he becomes this mentor and someone he can learn from, or he somehow finds a way to cross over to Chicago and join Tommy in Power Book 4 Force. And I feel it's the right time to bring this up after the first episode of Season 2, because 2-Bit has now been listed on IMDb for Power Book 4 Force. Of course, we have to take it with a pinch of salt, because IMDb isn't always accurate, but it does still raise the question for 2-Bit's character, and where is his story? Is it on Power Book 2 Ghost, or is it on Power Book 4 Force? Now, it doesn't necessarily mean we won't see 2-Bit in Power Book 2 Ghost this season, because I still think we will, but it may explain why he could cross over and make his way down to Chicago. So we're going to run through all things 2-Bit in this video, and run through the theory of Tommy having a secret meeting with 2-Bit before he left New York, and how he could cross over to Power Book 4 Force, and how he could impact the whole Power universe. I'm also going to come to Cristobal and 2-Bit's storyline, and why we still need to see justice for Julio's death. So stick with this video till the end, so you understand why. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. Now, as with every video, the foundation for this one starts with the timeline. The most important thing here with this storyline is the timeline of events from Power, Power Book 2 Ghost, and Power Book 4 Force. Now, Tommy appeared in the finale for Power Book 2 Ghost Season 1, so the question was, will Force start from Power Season 6 Episode 13 when he left New York, or would it start from the final episode of the first season of Power Book 2 Ghost? Now, Joseph Sikora did do an interview where he teased the timeline for Force, and he said it's going to start from the events from the ending of Power Book 2 Ghost Season 1. So we're going to pick up with Force after Tommy left Ghost's grave and him meeting Tariq and Monet. So where does 2-Bit come into all of this? Now, 2-Bit was and still remains one of the most loyal soldiers in the Power universe. He had every opportunity to rat on Tommy and Ghost to cut himself a deal, to free himself from the orange jumpsuit, but he didn't. Now, Spanky did, and we all saw what happened to Spanky, because snitches don't last long in the Power universe, because once you snitch, you've signed your death certificate. And 2-Bit, he was ready to ride out whatever time they gave him, because he ain't no snitch, he's a straight up loyal street soldier, and Tommy definitely knows this. And this is someone who Tommy could definitely do with as he makes his way over to Chicago. Now, Tommy's gonna have no one he knows in Chicago, he'll be starting over, and he knows the game more than anyone. You can't trust anyone in this game, and you need loyal soldiers around you. But let me just play a small clip for you where Tommy teased the timeline of events, and why I think there could have been a secret meeting between 2-Bit and Tommy. So let me just play this for you, and then we'll break it down and make it make sense.
Any twist coming to the show? Well, we know that Tommy is on his way to California, and we know that this show, at least presently, is being filmed in Chicago. We don't know how much is filmed before he gets here, and we don't know if he's gonna make it out of here. What's up, Brooke?
So we don't know how much is filmed before he gets to Chicago, and I raised the question before in one of my previous videos, could he have possibly gone to meet 2-Bit after the graveyard? I find it hard to believe that someone of 2-Bit's intelligence would think that Tommy is dead, because that's what they made it look like in New York. But there is just no way 2-Bit wouldn't have heard that Tommy was back in town. As I said, 2-Bit is a very intelligent character, and they even made reference to his SAT score in Power. But could Tommy have met 2-Bit after the graveyard scene, and could this be the filming that Joseph Sikora was referring to in his Instagram live Q&A? Could he be the reason why he's backed off from Tariq from collecting money, because Tommy's told him to? Because at the end of the day, as much as Tommy hates Tariq for what he did to Ghost, he'll be there for him in a time of need. So let me just play this for you next.
Is Tariq going to appear on my show? I can't tell you that, but you know that he's going to definitely need Uncle Tommy's help at some point.
So he'll need Uncle Tommy's help at some point, and I agree, I've been saying it for a long time that we'll see another crossover between these two characters, because this whole Power universe will one day tie together with all of these crossovers and storylines. And the thing is, what is really left for 2-Bit in Power Book 2 Ghost? There's this whole thing with Cristobal that they could visit at some point when he returns in Ghost, but then what? He messaged Tariq in episode 9 to tell him that he was out of cash and he'll be back soon. So I don't think they're just gonna brush 2-Bit's storyline under the rug in Ghost, but they will definitely come to him in a couple of episodes time in season 2. But the game in New York is dead for him. It's gonna be led by Mecca and the Tejadas, and he might even think he needs a fresh start and somewhere else to make his mark. Now, the actor who plays 2-Bit, Michael Ferguson, was on Instagram Live a long time ago in the early hours of the morning, and he said 2-Bit, he's not a leader, he's a straight up street soldier, and I definitely agree. This is why it makes even more sense for him to be Tommy's right hand man in Power Book 4 Force. He would make a very good number 2 to someone like Tommy because of his intelligence and smart ways, and I do think the two could really work well together because I think someone like 2-Bit will do Tommy good. In one of my Power Book 3 Raising Kanan recaps, I touched on the fact that Unique doesn't have a number 2, he makes all the decisions and likes to hold all the power, but we saw how this was his downfall with certain situations, because you definitely need someone to question your thought process. You need someone to tell you from right from wrong, because if it was up to Tommy, he would have lit up Annabelle very early on in Power, but Ghost said they need to think logically. This is why Ghost and Tommy work really well together. Ghost was the one person to stop Tommy before he did something stupid and make him think logically. Now, in the game of Power, the 48 Laws of Power teaches us, sometimes you have to pick the ideas from the enemies, friends, or anyone else. You know, get the others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. That's what powerful and strong leaders do. So, having someone like 2-Bit by his side would definitely prove beneficial for Tommy in a new city, where there's new players, a new game, and a new way of doing things. So having an OG and someone loyal like 2-Bit as your number 2 is exactly what Tommy needs. But as I said before, what is left for him in Power Book 2 Ghost? I do think they'll revisit 2-Bit's storyline again at some point, because they just can't ignore it completely. If he's moving over to Chicago for Force, then they need to make it make sense on Power Book 2 Ghost first, before we see him in Chicago. So I do think he's going to be back at some point to finish the storyline with Tariq, but more importantly, the storyline with Cristobal and Julio, because we definitely need justice for Julio. Sure, 2-Bit lit Dre's ass up in prison for being a snitch, and he was the driving force behind Julio's death, because he wanted his number 2 spot in Tommy's organization, and once he did have Julio killed by the Toros Locos, he was promoted to number 2. But we can't underestimate Cristobal's role in Julio's death. Cristobal helped Dre every step of the way, and this is why we need some retribution for Julio. We need 2-Bit to murk Cristobal off, and that's what I hope we see with Cristobal and 2-Bit in Power Book 2 Ghost Episode 5. So now Cristobal is one of my death predictions for later on in this season, if it plays out this way of course, because as I've said before, there are so many different ways they could take 2-Bit's character, but we'll find out soon enough when he does appear. Episode 5 is teased to be one of the big episodes of the season. It's been teased by a few cast members, so them being listed for episode 5, I can definitely see something like this happening, or hope so anyway. But there we have it. This is why I think we could see 2-Bit moving over and crossing over to Power Book 4 Force and entering Chicago with Tommy Egan. I'm sure he's not stupid, he knows that Tommy's still alive, and just like 2-Bit, there's nothing left for him in the story of Ghost and in New York. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Could we see 2-Bit's character crossing over to Power Book 4 Force? Could we see him murking off Cristobal on Ghost and getting justice for Julio? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section. And of course, if you did enjoy the 2-Bit crossing over to Force Theory, then smash the like button on this video, as well as the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.